What's up guys, thought I'd jump on here again and talk about one of my new favourite cryptocurrencies, which is Kaspa. So Kaspa's been talked about a lot for probably a while now, but in my opinion it is still my favourite cryptocurrency for this upcoming bull cycle. Now the reason why it is probably my favourite choice of cryptocurrency is purely because of the risk to reward ratio we're going to get here. Now, in my opinion, Kaspa isn't a risky play, but the returns could be massive. So, at the moment, my current portfolio is roughly 25% in Kaspa, so I'm going pretty much all in on Kaspa. Obviously I've got other plays, other altcoins which are way more speculative, which potentially could do a lot more in gains, but they could also go to zero. So in my opinion, obviously it's not financial advice, Kaspa is a great play for the next few months slash couple of years, and probably going further than that as well. Say that where Kaspa is right now, it's going to overtake Solana in the future, and then it potentially could, in my opinion, overtake Ethereum, and I think that's just a matter of time. So I think it probably won't happen this bull cycle. I think when the smart contracts come out next bull cycle, then we could see Kaspa at number 2 as the best layer 1. So in regards to this, we've seen a big pullback in Bitcoin. So we've seen a 5% move here, 5% move there. We've seen retracements. And what's that done to Kaspa price now? Over the last 7 days, we're 8.6% down. I feel like it's a brilliant opportunity now to buy the dip, to DCA back in and gain some more Kaspa. Now, reasons why I like Kaspa so much are the tokenomics are brilliant. So we've got a total supply of 22 billion Kaspa roughly, which sounds quite a lot. So we've got 22 million circulating supply, so it's already in circulation, and a max supply of 28 billion. Now that means roughly kind of 70-ish%, 70 to 80% is already in circulation. Now this obviously coming bull run, when the normies come in, so it's only going to go higher, etc. I know there are token unlocks, etc. But this is going to provide scarcity in the market, and it's only going to drive the price higher. I would watch for obviously a little bit more of a retracement potentially, depending on what the ETFs do. If the ETFs get approved, then we might be in the same situation as we were before. So we might be in a buy the rumour, sell the news situation, which could drive the price down slightly more. I know my portfolio is in the red today, but overall, you know, we're going to see consistent price gains within Kaspa over the next 1 to 2 years, and upwards from that again. Now regarding like kind of tier 1 exchanges as well, I feel like once we get a Coinbase listing and a Binance listing, that's just going to skyrocket the price even more. I feel that this bull cycle we could potentially do a 30 to 50x, considering we're already up a lot already. Now I'll just go into a few details about Kaspa and more, just some of the technology. I'm not a technical person myself, so it's good for me to kind of learn this, and if I can provide any value to you guys, then that's great as well. So proof of work versus proof of stake. So Kaspa is a proof of work, and a proof of work is basically where miners use to validate transactions, which in turn leads to more. It's way more expensive and requires a lot of computing power, a lot of electricity, and people are saying it's bad for the environment, etc. Whereas a proof of stake, the validation is dependent upon the amount of coins being staked, and obviously the higher the amount of coins, the more chance of them getting picked as a validator. This in turn leads to big whales obviously being able to validate, gaining them more money for obviously the more validations they do. So the more wealthy they're going to get. I feel like that is kind of a less decentralized way of doing things in turn. So we'll move on to the next point, which is a big one as well. So Kaspa was released as a fair launch token, and that is the first of its kind. So basically there was no pre-allocation of tokens to the people who made Kaspa. Now normally there is a pre-allocation of tokens, so the team will get a certain amount of tokens upon launch. This can mean a number of things, like altcoins. If this happens, then obviously what you'll see is you'll see a big spike when the project is launched, and you'll probably see a bit of a sell-off of those particular coins that were already allocated to the initial team. And this isn't the case with Kaspa. It's all the public get the coins. So this is a massive selling point. I feel like it's a big turning stone for like crypto in general. If we compare that to something like Solana, the top 100 Solana holders have 30% of the tokens in circulation, and the top 10 Solana holders own over 9% of the total value of the coins. So if I'm honest, I feel like Kaspa is kind of like another level up from these other cryptos in terms of the tokenomics. Solana's initial token distribution was dominated by insiders and investors, with a huge amount going to the actual, with 48% going to the founding team and investors. So if they wanted to dump on you, they could do. Whereas Kaspa, that isn't the case. You're going to see less fluctuations in price. And what we have seen is a nice steady increase in the price of Kaspa. Obviously we ballooned, but now we've just been continuing up on a nice steady curve. So going to the actual technology itself, we've got blockchain and a block DAG. All cryptocurrencies are based on a blockchain, so it allows one kind of like transaction to take place at one time, then it has to go to the next one, and then the next one, and the next one. And for them all, they all have to be validated in order for the transaction to go through. Whereas a block DAG can actually perform multiple transactions at a time, which allows for a much faster speed of transaction. So in comparison, it was Kaspa's 60 times faster than Bitcoin, which is a huge amount, and then 4 times faster than Solana as well. So another massive selling point there for Kaspa. And I feel like obviously it being a layer 1, you can't really compete with that in my opinion. So moving on to the tokenomics as well. We covered this a little bit earlier, but we'll go over it again anyway. So we've got like a circulating supply of 22 billion and a max supply of 28 billion. 80% of the total supply is traded on public markets. And like I said before, it provides some scarcity to the coin. It's only going to push the price up further in the future. So we'll go into my price predictions and kind of like what you could get in return on your investment from, you know, your standard investor. For me, like I said, it's 25% of my portfolio. So if we go to coin stats, we got Kaspa in there. I think we're roughly about 10 cents at the moment. Yes, this is pounds, but we'll work it out. So realistically, £1,000. I'm in the UK, obviously, that's why it's pounds. So £1,000, and realistically, I think this bull cycle, I think we can get to £3. So you invested £1,000 in Kaspa, and this is right now. I'd take I'd take this price and DCA in from here 100%. We might go slightly lower because everything's happened with Bitcoin and the ETFs, but ultimately within the next 3 months we're definitely going to be massively up. So especially when the halving arrives, an investment of £1,000 would give you, you know, £30,000 back. Now that's a pretty good return considering how safe this project is. Like, I'm not saying it's 100% safe because no crypto is, but considering everything else, how good it is, and potential what we can see in the future, a £30,000 exit, I don't think anyone would complain from investing £1,000. To be honest, what I have in mind, so I've got probably 5k. A sell price of 3. Obviously, what I'm going to say is that I will be layering out 20%, 20%, 20%, and then leave the last 10% for a blow off top in the future. So realistically, if I invested 5k, a sell price of £3, you're exiting with £150,000. That's a huge amount of money from a coin that is, you know, relatively safe. We'll move to tweets. I always like looking at this, guys. It just provides you with what's going on in the market. We can see if obviously there's any bot followers. So we'll look at what happened in November. So we've got the amount of followers. We've got 133,739 followers. Moving into January, we've got 191,233 followers. So within the space of just over a month, we've gained roughly around 57,000 followers. And that's without kind of the normies jumping in, you know, in the bull market when we get further on, probably mid 24, late 24. This number's going to skyrocket. And as soon as the numbers are on the project, guys, this thing is going to blow, especially when we get a tier 1 exchange listing, especially after the ETFs are approved, especially after the halving. I feel like this, you know, you need to take a look at it at least. Obviously do your own research, it's not financial advice, but definitely my favourite pick for the bull run is Kaspa. And is it a good time to buy? I'd say it's a good time to DCA. And if you like this content, like the video and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Cheers, guys.